Dragon Ball Z is one of the most beloved anime on the planet. Goku's battles have been the stuff of legend and are fond memories for fans who grew up with the series. But there are tons of surprising facts out there that you may not be privy to. For this list, we focused largely on Dragon Ball Z, but also acknowledged some of the other series. For those of you who love ad-free viewing and free things, we're excited to announce the Premium Network. The Premium gets you early access to videos from CBR, The Gamer, Screen Rant, and many other great channels. Thousands of videos in one place with ad-free browsing. How sweet is that? Sign up for free The Premium by clicking the link to start binge-watching videos from your favorite channels. Why not click on that subscribe button? That way you'll get even more awesome videos like this every day.
Yeah, count on it.
Goku the Merciful. It wouldn't be a Dragon Ball series without an epic showdown between an all-powerful, super evil bad guy. Usually, these villains cause mass destruction and even get around to taking a few of the heroes out of the equation altogether. Thankfully, there are Dragon Balls to bring old Krillin back to life, again. Despite all this anarchy and mayhem, you'd be surprised at how merciful Goku actually is when throwing down against some of the biggest baddies in the universe.
There's no need to be scared of me. Just say you're sorry for what you've done and leave, and no harm will come to you.
Dragon Ball has some classic villains, from Frieza, Cell, Majin Buu, but Goku, all things considered, has some pretty clean hands. He's only permanently removed 2 villains in the Z series.
I saw an opening that seemed to scream out attacks, so I did.
Think about it. Cell hit his self-destruct button. Frieza also met his demise by his own hand before ultimately biting it again by Future Trunks, and Vegeta wound up joining the Z-Fighters. The only times Goku's actually taken someone out was during the Buu saga. First up was Yakan, whose power was absorbing energy. Goku merely overloaded him and poof, game over. Buu, perhaps the most terrifying villain in the DBZ canon to date, had to go, and Goku took care of him with a spirit bomb. Passing out over Super Saiyan. Being a Super Saiyan is pretty awesome when you think about it. Your power level increases dramatically, and you get a sweet new haircut to go with your crazy new moves. There are a few levels of Super Saiyan, ranging from the first level to the latest iteration, the Super Saiyan Blue, which surpasses Super Saiyan God. Charging up into a Super Saiyan takes a lot of energy. Goku can only stay in Super Saiyan 3 for a short while due to the crazy amounts of energy needed. While transforming, it's common for the Saiyan to scream at the top of their lungs. One of those screams must have been too much for Goku's English voice actor, though. Sean Schemmel has been playing Goku for years in the English dub, but admits that he actually passed out while recording the scream for Dragon Ball GT when Goku went Super Saiyan 4. He miscalculated the amount of air needed for the transformation and ended up getting winded and ultimately passing out. Talk about getting into the role. We don't blame him, though. Goku is one of the coolest characters ever, and it's hard not to get into how awesome he is.
These guys are the best in the business, and they only use the freshest ingredients. Right?
One does not simply forget a character. You know what would be terribly embarrassing? If a creator of a hit property ended up forgetting about a character they created in the past in said series. We understand that a show like Dragon Ball has a lot of characters, so forgetting someone might be more understanding than if it were another property, but the Dragon Ball series has over 60 main and supporting characters. That's a lot of people to keep track of. Series creator Akira Toriyama is someone Dragon Ball fans owe a lot to, so we can forgive him for this one mistake. Do you remember the character launch? Chances are you don't, and that's okay because even Toriyama actually forgot about her too. She was a major character prior to Raditz's arrival on Earth, who could change her appearance after a sneeze. She appeared in a few episodes over the course of the Z series, but when asked about how come she wasn't in the series more often, Toriyama simply stated that he forgot about her. Oops. We understand that there's a lot to take in when working with the DBZ universe, but we're surprised that a character with such a unique ability would be forgotten.
Isn't it wonderful that these humans have so many buildings for us to annihilate?
Lapis Lazuli. One of the more memorable saga arcs in Dragon Ball Z is certainly the insanely long Android saga. This particular portion of the anime and manga actually umbrellas another 5 arcs within it: the Trunks saga, the Androids, Imperfect Cell, Perfect Cell, and the Cell games. All in all, the saga takes 3 seasons or 87 episodes to tell in the Funimation naming convention for the series. Aside from the fearsome villain Cell, another mainstay of this particular arc are the fearsome androids. For the longest time, these characters were known to fans only by their character numbers. Case in point, androids 17 and 18, the twins who were created by the villainous Dr. Gero. It may surprise you to learn that these fan-favorite characters actually have names of their own, so we no longer have to refer to them by their android names. 17 and 18's names were revealed to be Lapis and Lazuli respectively from series creator Akira Toriyama. In a Q&A back in 2014, Toriyama dropped the revelation about the androids' true names. Perhaps this was to generate more interest in the upcoming Dragon Ball Super sequel.
You're nothing but an overgrown monkey!
Lord of the Rings or Frieza. We all know that watching The Lord of the Rings is something of a commitment, taking on average 3 hours per film just for the theatrical cuts. The runtime for the extended cut of Return of the King clocks in at 251 minutes, or 4 hours and 20 minutes, give or take. We all know that watching Dragon Ball can be something of a commitment as well. With all those filler moments, power-ups, and extended battles, it can feel like each major battle goes on for quite a while. Thankfully, these episodes aired one at a time on TV back in the day, so we never noticed just how long some of these battles could be. Case in point, the insanely long battle that was Goku versus Frieza. As cool as it was, that battle was long. Really long. Clocking in at 4 hours and 13 minutes collectively, this fight is the longest in anime history. So on a rainy day, you'd have the choice of watching the entire Frieza fight or watching the extended cut of Return of the King. You'd basically be committing the same amount of time. Make your choice.
No way! Not me!
What's with the dots? Krillin is a classic character amongst DBZ fans, who's been around since the early days of Goku's childhood. He may not be a Saiyan, and he may need resurrecting on more than a couple of occasions, but Krillin is always there to lend a helping hand when the situation calls for the Z-Fighters. Krillin's appearance is instantly recognizable to fans. While he shares similar clothing to Goku, he's a far cry from the Super Saiyan from space. He's a lot shorter than the other Dragon Ball characters, and he's also bald for most of the series, having only grown hair during the Majin Buu arc. Another trademark part of his image are the 6 random dots on his forehead. This is actually explained in a 1987 one-shot magazine called Dragon Ball Boken Special. In it, it explains that the dots on Krillin's forehead are actually incense burns bestowed onto Krillin during his monk training at the Orin Temple. The burns from Moxibustion came as part of a ritual called Jiban, and the burns represent the 3 refuges of Buddhism, which include Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. All of the monks at this temple have 6 incense burns.
Yeah, you sly turtle man, feel that boogie!
Old-timers. While they may not completely look it, some of the characters in the Dragon Ball universe are old. Really old. Goku is a prime fighter. He's actually 42 years old by the time Dragon Ball Super starts, but he's technically 35 as he was dead for 7 years. Vegeta, on the other hand, is 46. Those numbers seem pretty normal and average, right? There are some characters in DBZ who are way older than you'd think, though. How old do you think Master Roshi really is? In his 80s? 90s, perhaps? You're way off if that's what you think. By the time Dragon Ball Z finished, Roshi is actually 354 years old. This is likely due to the immortality elixir, which is brought up in the manga chapter Fanning the Flame. While he may not die of old age, Roshi can be killed off, as is evident from performing the evil containment wave against King Piccolo. Thank goodness for those Dragon Balls. Buu, on the other hand, is even older. Let's just get this one out of the way. Buu is a complicated character. He's taken various forms from Majin Buu, Kid Buu, to Super Buu, and he's been both evil and good thanks to the soul of the Grand Supreme Kai. Including hibernation time, Buu is actually around 5 million years old by the time he's brought to Earth and fights Goku. That pink blob is basically a dinosaur.
Hello, friend.
Really random villain cameo. The Dragon Ball series has some of the best villains in anime history. From Buu, Frieza, Cell, and even Vegeta and Piccolo once upon a time, the DBZ villains have become ingrained into the popular geek culture. But in Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn, the 12th film entry in the saga, the animators and writers decided to insert Hitler into the mythology. Yup. While he's never directly referenced as the most evil man in history, Hitler's appearance is unmissable. Credited as the Dictator, he tells Goten and Trunks that they should be fighting for him due to their skin tone. Yikes. Thankfully, the kids ain't having none of that and fuse into Gotenks, destroying the Dictator and his army with the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack.
He will know the wrath of Frieza!
The worst kind of people. Some of the best and most common writing advice given to aspiring authors is to write what you know. Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama definitely took that lesson to heart when it came time to write one of the most memorable villains from Dragon Ball history. We are, of course, referring to the veteran villain Frieza. He was the emperor of the universe at one point, and caused our heroes quite a bit of grief in the early days of Dragon Ball Z. The fun didn't stop there though, as he came back in a cyborg form soon after his apparent demise and was resurrected thanks to the Dragon Balls in Super. Toriyama actually based Frieza off of real estate speculators. In DBZ, Frieza is the head of the Galactic Trade Organization, a criminal group that takes over planets and sells them to the highest bidder. Toriyama considered real estate speculators to be the worst kind of people and concepted a villain around this idea.
I thought so. It's just a useless rock. There isn't anything here worth developing. But that's good, as long as there's no profit to be made here. Well then, there's nothing to stop me from blowing it up.
Bear in mind that in the 80s, when Toriyama was working on the early days of DBZ, Japan was in an economic bubble that saw real estate prices skyrocket. Many people suffered except for those who were watching the market and looking to make a quick and easy buck at the expense of others. We definitely see the resemblance.
Welcome, Kakarot. Nice of you to join us.
It's over a really big number. What's your favorite moment or quote from Dragon Ball Z? Chances are it's the awesome and internet famous line,
It's over 9,000! 9,000?! There's no way that can be right!
When Goku fights Vegeta and Nappa back in the early days of DBZ, Goku hasn't yet unlocked the ability to go Super Saiyan. But that doesn't mean he's a pushover either. Charging up, the earth shakes and lightning bolts appear. Nappa and Vegeta are stunned, to the point where Vegeta yells out the famous "It's over 9,000" line when he reads Goku's power level. But many wondered why the over 9,000 line was changed from the original manga line. On paper, Vegeta actually yells out "It's over 8,000" when reading Goku's power level. Not only is that in the manga, but it's in the original Japanese versions of the anime. No one really knows why the number was changed. Some believe that there was a mistake in the translation, while others believe that 9,000 looked better in the dub. Regardless, the line was changed back to over 8,000 in Dragon Ball Z Kai, but many fans still prefer the over 9,000 mistake.
Guess that means it's time to take a break.
Well, that's it for now, folks. So, what secrets were you most surprised to learn about? What other secrets did we miss? Are you enjoying Super, or do you prefer the old school Z? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this one every day in our playlist. Thanks for watching!